I'd love to share why we're wired to be kind to each other. And this comes out of my studies of mitochondria in the body, what they really are, what they do. This model, I think, creates a lot of freedom for people. And it's all based on F words. And I studied, when I was a computer hacker, distributed systems and emergent behavior and AI. So when you have small things that repeat a pattern over and over, you get complex things that emerge, like the reason flowers grow in a shape or the reason shells are the way they are. It looks so beautiful, but it's simple rules repeated infinitely create complexity. So you start looking at human consciousness and you realize our bodies have to be able to stay alive like all life on Earth. So there is an operating system, a set of decisions that every living thing makes in order to survive for millions of years. And you can figure out what this is. And the first thing that all life on the planet does is fear. And that means you run away from, you kill, or you hide from anything scary. And you do it right now with all of your energy. Because from the perspective of a tiny little mitochondria sitting in your body, which used to be an ancient bacteria, it doesn't really know if you're the last of your species on the planet, because dumb little bacteria, they don't know time, they don't know context, they don't know what's in the refrigerator. They only know the present, and if there's a perceived threat, whether it's real or not, you have to react. So fear will take your energy. And this works if you're a slime mold, like some kind of politician, or a zebra or a tree, it doesn't matter. All life does this. And the way you run away from, kill, or hide can be very different. A bacteria is going to make toxins, right? A tiger is going to bite you. Right? A human's going to make a tool and smack you on the head with it. We all do this, right? So fear. The next one, food. And this is eat everything. Because famines have taken out every species. Energy availability is precious. So this is why, until you train yourself, you think about tacos all day long, or pizza, or ice cream, or candy, or whatever the heck your thing is, right? So fear food. Third F word, all life has to do it to stick around for multiple generations. Do you know that one?
What life has to do?
Yeah, just like all life on Earth to stick around for multiple generations, it's an F word. So after fear, after food, what would come next?
Fornicate?
I was thinking fertility, but all right, you just go straight for the dirty. Whatever you're into, man. At least you didn't drop an F-bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fear, food, fertility, right? And probably fornication more likely for most life. Now, everything does this that's alive automatically without any conscious brain in there, right? Bacteria reproduce. Slime molds reproduce. Trees reproduce. And they put a lot of energy into making these little seed pods, right? And if they were selfish and they weren't wired that way, they wouldn't put energy into that. They would just get stronger roots. But we always put our energy into the next generation automatically because life has to do that to be alive. So fear, food, fertility.
/fornicate.
/fornicate.
The fourth one.
Well, wait a minute. I just explained every bad decision you ever made in your life. Your mitochondria did it. This is the operating system of your body. And that's pretty dark. Oh my God, is this really what life is about? It's not about those, because the next F word that all life on Earth does is friend. You support your species and all the world around you automatically by design. But if all of your energy goes into fear and hunger and desire, then there's nothing left for your community. And the final F word, and the one that is the center of my work in spirituality and personal development, is forgiveness. And you can say, Dave, how does, a deer forgive? They don't even have a brain that really does that. Well, it's hard for humans to forgive. This is where we get stuck. For the deer, you see the National Geographic thing. There's a tiger chasing the deer gets away. And it'll shake itself, and it'll go back to eating grass. The shaking is the deer shaking off the threat being done with it, being present, and going back into literally sympathetic or parasympathetic mode where you can actually digest the grass you're eating. So it's pretty easy. Either you got eaten or you didn't. But for humans, we think about it all the time and we get stuck in that. And forgiveness isn't about saying bad things that happened to you were okay. It's about turning off your reactivity and your grudge. And a lot of the most powerful meditative practices, the fastest way to change your stages of spiritual evolution and your state is a structured process of forgiveness. And you can use psychedelics, you can use breath work, you can use darkness, you can fast in caves, and you can use technology to do it. And in Heavily Meditated, in my book, that's what I'm teaching people is what's the structured process for forgiveness that works? And I've had about 2,000 people come through my neuroscience program. It's 5 really intense days at 40 years of Zen. These are successful people, entrepreneurs, celebrities, athletes, people like that. And what you see is when someone does an authentic forgiveness exercise, not where you think or decide that you forgive someone, but where your biology forgives them, it's pretty trippy when you experience it. But more importantly, the brain shifts in a very predictable way. So we teach people how to structure forgiveness as a process, as a meditation, and a computer to guide you to do it more deeply, more profoundly, and to catch you when you do what most people do. And they'll say, I forgave Mom. I said I forgive her, but you know they didn't really do it. Because the body believes that if you forgive a potential threat, it still might come back. And so your hardware fights against you letting go because it wants to hold on to all of those traumas. It wants to hold on to those because they might be dangerous. And it knows it has the ability to put all your energy into fear. And it wants to keep your energy there because that's what's going to keep you from getting eaten. So if you can do the basic biohacking stuff around health, it raises the amount of energy you have available. So now, even if you do keep the same amount of energy in fear, you fill up your fear bucket, then it goes into your food bucket, learn how to eat so you're never hungry. Okay, well, there's not much energy you need to worry about there. So then it goes into the next bucket. And when you learn how to use sacred intimacy as a form of nourishment instead of porn or empty sex, that becomes something that powers you, that actually raises your consciousness. And then you have so much energy left that you can serve your community and you can have a tribe. And doing that also nourishes you. And there's so much energy left at the end of all that that you can do the deep work of forgiveness and spiritual progression and working on yourself. So the lowest hanging fruit, learn how to have more energy.
Yep.
Second one, eliminate hunger. Because that's easy. And then eliminating fear, which is hard. And learning to have sacred intimacy isn't that hard. It requires vulnerability. And that's easier too if you're full of energy and you have less fear and you're not hungry.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be a great night of lovemaking if you're hungry and afraid. Because it wouldn't be a night of lovemaking at all. It'd be a night of finding pizza.